Okay, this is a good mix. Awesome. Okay, so welcome to Green Chill Zone, a game where we chill out, talk about games as usual, and just calm down on a Monday afternoon, evening, because Mondays can be a lot. How's everyone doing today, apart from spending ages debugging my audio? How's everybody doing? I've been playing Melty Blood. That's what I've been doing. Melty Blood and Magic the Gathering. That's been my Monday. And, working a bit. Oh my gosh, Funkstar's in the chat. Hey Funkstar, welcome. And of course, welcome to everyone else. I don't want everyone to feel like I'm prioritizing Funkstar over you. I just happen to point Funkstar out every single time. I noticed that people seem to really come out for this game. People like getting over it with Bennett Foddy. I expected to like it. I actually didn't get around to playing it for a really long time. I've never played it before. So if anyone is expecting me to 3-minute speedrun this game, I'm afraid you have another thing coming. Can we... There's subtitles? Yes, and they're on. Okay, cool. Just in case we can't really hear old B-Fod. Alright, let's just kick off, shall we? So we got let's just drink in the game, the start screen. Oh yeah, before I continue and before I forget, Alessa was in the chat. Alessa was in the chat asking about asking about the loading screen for the stream. So people have asked before, and I'm sure they will ask again, and I'm always happy to tell them because it's one of my favorite things. I am using the Steam software that you mentioned, the one that lets you set GIFs as your wallpaper, but the wallpaper itself is not from that library. It is from a library of my own cultivation of fighting game backgrounds, because the stages, they look good. So, yes, ooh, okay. I didn't even mean to do that.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute.
Still quite sensitive.
If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black.
Yeah, that's too low.
If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it.
Okay.
If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here.
Okay. So, this Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is co-op creator Bennett Foddy's recent huge success. He has, in interviews about this game, said that he planned this game to be a little in-between project, that he was going to make this for fun, like he said, to hurt people, or to hurt a specific person, as he says, I think later on in the narration. And then he was going to make something that he would actually make money off. But it turns out this game did gangbusters, and he made loads of money without really expecting to. So that's a fun thing. It's interesting the ways in which Bennett Foddy's particular fascination with self-flagellation, like, made money without him even expecting it to. Okay. So, yeah, these are the things that I know about this game. This is not a sledgehammer, but a Yosemite hammer. A word I had always thought was pronounced Yosemite. But, yeah, Yosemite. And, I know I've seen little bits of this game played online. Little tiny bits. My voice is much quieter than Foddy's. Okay, that's very quiet. Let me... What can I do about that? I guess I could just mix the output capture down. And then you could all turn me up, I guess. I don't know. I'm stuck. Okay, so the first thing that I'm noticing about this game is the subtle way in which Mr. Foddy has programmed this mouse sort of tracker to not do what you want it to when you most want it to do what you want it to. It has a very, very delicate acceleration gradient, like a relationship to what the player does. So it's a really interesting thing, actually. Like if you've ever played Super Mario Brothers or any Mario game, yeah, I've already mixed the voiceover down, I think. Oh no, I haven't. Okay, let's do that. Right, let's give that a go. So, if you've ever played any Mario game, or indeed most platform games, or even just any kind of good game, I guess, any kind of good game with physicality to it, like a big part of physicality is a game not properly, not like one-to-one mapping what you ask it to do. And this game gets that out of the park immediately. Sorry, this game starts off with that, with the very basis of the control is it doesn't really follow what you ask it to do. I think that's really neat. I like that. Like if you if you're running Mario down a path or whatever, you hold the button to run and you stop and he skids. Or if you press go, he takes a few frames to start up, and that little bit of disagreement with you, like assertion of the physics of Mario over your will, is one of the very tiny things that makes Mario really, really good. And this game agrees. Okay. So, I'm sure if you've watched anyone play this, the way I play it will be excruciating to you. But, like I say, I really am playing this completely, without sight unseen, as it were. Okay, now I can't hear Bennett. But can you? Maybe we'll...
Find a safe place to stop.
Well, there we go.
Don't worry, I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
Okay. Whoop. That's another interesting thing about this game. The friction of the hammer on surfaces. It's very reliable until it's not. And when it's not, you'll get really mad. Get really, really angry. Nobody feel bad about being the audio police. It's completely my fault for not checking the mix before I went live. I had a lot of stuff to do. I was making supper. So yeah.
This game is a homage to a free game that came out in 2002.
Sexy Hiking. Good game.
The author of that game was Jazor, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages of found objects. Designers slap them together very quickly and freely, and they're often too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building them than as polished products.
So I don't know if he goes on to say it in the voiceover, but Bennett made this game with entirely shop-bought assets. Like the guy here, this John Blow-ass looking dude, is just the I can't remember which Adobe program it is, but one of the modeling programs, it's just the default one, the default man. The first default man looks remarkably like a sort of Braid era Jonathan Blow. It's neat. Oh. See, that friction, it betrays you. It goes the other way as well. It sticks you to things you don't want to be stuck to. Ugh, fuck. And this is something that, like, I guess, generally speaking, players are not really used to, right? Is that the way that you move through the world, like this hammer, right? Putting it in places can be actively detrimental to you. Like what I just tried to do, and what a lot of people probably try and do, is like push yourself to the limit of where the hammer goes and then snap it back around to your other side so you can pull again. But then it gets caught on stuff. You get pushed off stuff. It's not actually always 100% beneficial to your climb, which is neat. Ooh, like that. I wonder if there's like a way. Can you like complete this without spilling any water? I wonder. Probably not, actually, considering for what tiny things you lose water for. That's been done on purpose. I like that. So yeah, like, this is a really neat thing about B games, as Foddy describes them, is this idea that because you spend so little time making assets, you can spend all of your time planning how they're put together. So you can, spend ages perfecting a curve like this that makes it really, really tedious to jump up a gap like this one. Yeah.
In a certain way, sexy hiking is the perfect embodiment of a V-game. It's built almost entirely out of bound and recycled parts, and it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. That act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life...
Okay, so now I can't be slow, I have to be quick.
Progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything. If you need to take a break, it's okay. I've saved your progress.
Hey, there's a Starbucks cup there. Is that that's the red Starbucks cup? That's the War on Christmas cup, isn't it? Or the other one? I don't know. Was that cup for or against Christmas? I can't remember. How high can we get the hammer up there? Not that high. Okay. Hey, Friendo's in the chat. Hey, Friendo. Hey, everyone. Love that you all came out. But yeah, anyone who doesn't explicitly know, that background at the beginning in the loading screen is from Garo Mark of the Wolves, which is an SNK fighting game. It's like Final Fight, but again. Ooh.
It might take you an hour to get over that tree. A lot of people never got past it. Prod and poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method, or the correct equipment, or just by spending enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
This idea of like obstacles is a really interesting one, actually. Like the way that video games present obstacles, like the reality of obstacles is that you can always get over them, right? Because like jumping up, mashing the jump button at a hill in Skyrim tells us that insurmountable obstacles that look like you could get up them are no fun to interact with at all. and something that I've been writing about recently is particularly how Breath of the Wild deals with the idea of obstacles, and how, because like, I guess the obvious point of contrast would be something like Assassin's Creed games, right? Where you surmount obstacles by just walking towards them and pressing climb repeatedly. And your character, in universe, I guess, sees the footholds and handholds and makes their way up. But like, in Breath of the Wild, it's different. You have like this meter to gamble and play with, and like, getting up is like on a very micro level engaging, and I kind of dig it. In fact, I extremely dig it. No. Even though it has like a reputation for being a game that makes people yell, I don't know, this game seems like a good game for this kind of stream because there's no time pressure or anything, and as far as I get is far enough. Ooh. Did I, Bennett? That's not that much. I hate the way you slide down that pipe. You know, by which I mean I love it. I wonder if Bennett's favourite thing about this game is the way that people attempt things differently the second time. Because even now I can tell I'm like, the things that I've done before I'm rushing in ways that might not work because I know I've done them. That's probably immensely satisfying from a design perspective. Ooh, didn't expect to get that, but I guess we got it. Whew. Good thing we weren't relying on that cup. I wonder if I'm playing too conservatively. Maybe if I like am slightly more fast and loose, I'll fall more, but I'll climb more. That's pretty risk reward. Risk rewards are good. Like, I think that's probably the ideal, maybe not for every system, but particularly like traversal systems like climbing. I would like it if there was at least some fail state. That's better. Like, even if the fail state is just having climbed slightly wrong and falling back down and having to start again, that's still something. Ooh. Yeah, so Friendo is in the chat saying, I'm not sure why this game makes people, or rather, it's difficult to relate to people who are made to yell by this game. And like, I agree. Like, I guess like, what was I going to say? Because listening to him talk about it, Foddy himself is pretty surprised that people yell so much about this game. Because like, I mean, apart from the fact that you lose progress, there's no fail state, I guess. It's like, if I wanted to be particularly wankish about it, I could say it's quite like a roguelike in that fashion. Like, oh heck. Like, you only ever go back to the beginning, and quite a lot of the time you don't. Clean jumps are very satisfying.
And that makes the game uniquely frustrating. But I'm not sure Jazzuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about it.
Ooh.
A funny thing happened to me as I was building this build. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault. As a player...
Okay, so this is the bit. This is basically the last bit of the game I have vague familiarity with. Like, I've seen a lot of people get stuck, possibly permanently here. So I guess we'll see how well it goes for me. Because there's this chimney that looks almost insurmountable, right? You have to, like, vault yourself up.
And that can be like working with quickset cement. You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world. Not without breaking it into pieces and starting...
Hey, Fidgety Frolic, welcome. So I guess what surprises me is that, like, people treat getting over it like it's a permadeath game. Like, and I guess in a way it is. Like, you lose, you know, you lose runs, I guess, that you had investment in. You know, you lose jumps that you were proud of in an interesting way. I'm not going to be able to get a good foothold on here, am I? So I should just use the claw to do that. Ooh, okay. So that's quite tight because I have to move the hammer without using it, without having it accidentally pull me back down. That's neat. I like this. Having seen a lot of people get up here by vaulting, it's neat that there's a cool way to get up without. Because vaulting means that my hammer is right down the bottom when I don't want it to be, because then just pulling it up means I don't have very good control over which side I pull it up on. Oh, we're losing ground. Oh, chat's talking about Flash games you can only play once, and yeah, Flash, fam, Flash was great. Wasn't there there was a cool sounding multiplayer game where there was like a collective story, and if the players, there was like a fixed number of respawns, and if the players didn't achieve it in that time, the game would shut down, and it didn't do very well, obviously, which is a shame because I like that idea. Come on, let me up. Okay, having space actually beneficial in that case. Probably sit on that light, can't I? Oh no. Okay, so this is fun because I'm meant to get all overconfident and fall over on the left side. Maybe I will. I have a sneaking suspicion that my habit of trying to get very stable before continuing is going to punish me at some point. This is the kind of player habit that if I was Bennett Foddy, I would be looking to punish. One of the things I really like about the way that the physics work and the way that the mouse acceleration thing works is that it turns the very normal player action of having to hoik your mouse up again, like that, when your hand is in the wrong... Ooh. Okay, whew, that was weird. Almost had a game crash there, or something that looked like it. But yeah, that very normal player action of hoiking your mouse up, it turns that into an emotional beat. Yeah, right. So Will is hitting on what I'm trying to talk about here. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is like roguelikes, in that it changes. Oh, I'll let Bennett talk.
Fabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
So I actually think Bennett is wrong there. There was a couple of times in this monologue that I think Bennett is wrong. I've seen it a bit, like, you know, I've seen the monologue itself. And, like, I guess, like, there are those, like, I mean, this is one of those games. There are games like that. Like, just because they're not the establishment of games, like, they can't be, right? They don't function, they're not what the market demands in terms of big deal video games. Whereas, like, here, games like this, games for this kind of audience, for people who don't really care about the fidelity, really just care much more about the ideas that are expressed by those assets, they're very popular. Like, I mean, what's a more democratized asset than a letter in the English language? And, like, that's Twine. That's what that is. Gunrunner's in the chat, haranguing me for going to bat for Flash, and if you think I'm not going to go to bat for Flash, you're just wrong. Like, Flash was perfect. Flash was just got, like, you know, you say that Flash was garbage, but it was the best thing we have. Like, have you tried using Photoshop? That program's ass. But even that is, like, massive culturally, because the actual, like, some imagined standard of, like, quality for software, it's not really what gives us these, I guess, these movements like Flash was, you know? Flash was a movement. And it's a big shame that... Ooh. Yeah. Cool, those biceps must be like fucking tigers, individual tigers in each bicep. Will is in the chat calling me out for defending bad things once again, and, like, if I appear to defend bad things, it's because, like, there are a lot of reasons that bad things end up being very special to people, you know, particularly things like Flash. Like, yeah, Flash was trash, but, like, I guess, you know, I would compare Flash to, like, Snapchat. Like, objectively speaking, terrible software, but, like, the ways in which that software is terrible is used in creative and exciting ways. And those ways are hugely influential to people. Oof. I'm going to slip if I wait. I'm going to give this a go. Ooh, that went well. Okay. So I guess I have to whack my hammer in under there and sort of slide myself along, huh? Alright, let's give that a go.
Over time,
Ooh.
we've put
Well,
more and
that'll
more
work, I guess.
to this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unknown. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you could build culture out of trash.
Okay, so this is kind of what I was saying.
Be games, be movies, be music, be philosophy.
This is kind of what I was saying, except unlike Bennett, I don't consider B culture, B movies, B anything to be, like, meaningfully different to A culture, as it were. Ooh, nearly fell there. So just real quick while I'm here. So we've changed to a different prepackaged aesthetic, which again is like evidence of really cool stuff. Yeah, so like that railing is super smart design wise, because like having just now scaled the vertical face that I'm pointing at but is not visible on the screen, you get this this complete inversion of the mechanics that we've had so far. I think that's really smart, because like if you pass that rail, you do so mostly through like implicit knowledge of how the game works that the game hasn't told you about. You know, it's just all that has happened is you've learned how the systems of the game work. It's really neat. It's really neat that by the time you get to that point, that makes sense in a way that doesn't track in your human brain.
There's 3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fanfic novels, scan magazines, green screen Shia LaBeouf, banned stuff scenes on
jump.
Live League. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups, car crash epic failed gifs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled.
This is going remarkably well. I did not expect to get this far, this quickly. I'm sure I'll lose it all at this jump, but I'm impressed with me. Okay, how high can our jump get us? Quite high. How far can our jump get us? Okay, that's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. So we just need to get some leverage for our hammer so it doesn't just slide. If I can stabilize myself on that corner, I think I would like that. Alright, let's give this a go. Ooh. Nearly completely guffed it there. Ooh. That was close.
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, and we hit refresh. And there's years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
Oh. Well, that could have gone worse. This is really neat. I like this a lot. So you fall from that pile of garbage there. You land ever so, like, super tightly on that bit of, you know, stone. And then the game says, cool, well, you can get back, but you have to chance falling all the way. That's really neat. I like that a lot. However, we might see if we can not do that and instead hop off the top here. Try and just climb back up the left side. Come on. Come on. You can do it, Johnny. Johnny Blow. That's a risky one. Ah, shit. Yeah, this chat is saying it's the second chance. This jump here is the second chance desperation comeback, and that's exactly it. This is the first of hopefully more than one double or nothing scenarios. Remind me later, Windows. Wow, love to be Windows updated while I'm streaming. Cool, we made it. Excellent. That means I'm going to try and do that again later. Oh, jeez. But yeah, ever since I played co-op at like secondary school and Bennett Foddy's other silly games, GURP and what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. Oh shit, ooh, that was close. Line Runners? The one that was a pole vaulting basketball-y, football-y game. Those games were fun. And I've been super compelled by these designs since then, I guess. Oh, I have to be fast here, don't I? Well, let's give that a go, I guess. Oh hey, Gwathring's in the chat. What up, Gwath? Oof. My arm's starting to cramp up. Oof. That single pixel of contact there, keeping me alive. I'm doing that thing where I get emotionally invested in a video game and start craning my head to where I think I'll have a better angle, despite it being a static monitor. Oof. Ooh. Making a lot of mistakes now. Okay, so I'm meant to jump to those crates now, huh? Okay, so I think my line here is to just try and position myself as well as I can on this beach ball and hop over there, because I think that's what we're doing. It's another thing that's really neat about this game is that the full extension of like the movement of the hammer on your person itself has momentum, not just dragging along the floor, which means that like if you're like me, precariously positioned on maybe 1 or 2 pixels of contact of the bowl of the pot, just like figuring out where you're going to put your hammer can mess you up. I think that's really funny. I'm impressed by this game. I mean, I knew I was going to like it, but I am surprised by how much I like it. Let's give this a go. Whoop. Yeah.
In this context, it's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle, that lets you churn through it but not earn it. Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill, filed in with the bland things?
Okay. I don't like this, but I guess I have to go this way, huh? Oof. Rude. Very rude. Well, thanks, Bennett. I guess we'll just go through that bit again. And hopefully we'll learn slightly more about it this time. Ugh. So I don't know. I mean, people seem to like watching this game, so maybe this will be the Monday slot until I finish it. I don't know. What do you think? Stream. Hey Agent Bella 16, welcome to the stream. My finger keeps gripping the mouse so much I'm clicking without even wanting to. Oh, that was bad. Oh, my body's gone all wrong now. Just like in real life. Ooh. So the problem with doing this at the speed I'm doing it is I'm completely forgetting what the drop I fell from is like, which again I guess is intentional. Whoop. Oof, nearly goofed that. Ben's is saying they just like me, which is mean. Mean to say that Mr. Foddy's game is not part of the reason you're here, at least. Wow, I just made the jump that time, huh? So you kind of just fall, huh? Am I looking to push I'm looking to slide down and push myself from this wall? Can I hang down? Is that a thing? Have a look. Maybe I should have done that to begin with. Let's see if we can hang. Okay, so if we like just slide the hammer tip off and then waggle it back to the left, we should land, I think, is my plan. I don't know how good it is. Let's give it a go. Nope, that didn't work.
Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
This is interesting, I guess. It's like the rail. It's a place where, unlike everywhere else, how you get over is not actually clear. Everywhere else, how you get over is clear, but the actual doing of the getting over is hard. But here, like, let's try and get up here slightly quicker than we did before. Ooh. Nope. That feels good. That feels really good. To be able to do that feels very good. That's a good payoff. I like games with, oh, I guess we ended up over here. That's fun. Being able to do that always feels good in a video game, I think. Okay, so rather than, here's my plan. Rather than stay on this side and push off late I'm going to push off early and try and get to the bottom with my hammer up here, fishing for the edge. My concern is bouncing off, but we should be fine. Oop, nope, not far enough. Okay. I guess I'm not too worried about bouncing off. I'm quite inert. Oof. That's pretty good. Bennett with a actually genuinely very good life advice there. Something I think about a lot. You know, obviously, like, it's not practical to always say difficulty or the idea of failure are, you know, imagined until you stop trying. But, like, the capacity to continue to do things that feel like fail states is, like, you know, it's a powerful, powerful technique for life, I guess. I'm being very precise here, but this is not actually a very tight jump.
Showing patience, and then attacking, scraping, then flapping, snagging.
Okay. So, last time... Okay, so... Oh, I guess we're going... Nope. Okay, well, last time doesn't matter because we goofed. We goofed early. Ooh. Back down here again. Ooh. Okay, okay. We got impatient. Oh well. We get to go back down here again. Try and do these levels faster than we did before. Having unlocked the ability to swing our hammer fast without fear. That's neat. That's an ability that I unlocked as a human, not as an avatar. I like it when humans unlock abilities in video games. Some of the things I really like about fighting games. Like, you never unlock the capacity to use a move, you unlock the capacity to use it properly. Gunrun's donating some pity bits, but honestly I wouldn't pity me in this case. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. It was bound to happen at some point, right? Oh yeah, all the Celeste music is about climbing a mountain, huh? How fitting. Okay, I just realised I thought the music would be like ambience, but actually it's not. So I'm just gonna turn it off because we're already listening to music. Oh, we're gonna have to do the chimney again. Oh well. Oh, it's not actually this way. Oh. Yeah, so I'm up for streaming this game until I finish it. My concern is, I guess one of the things I like the most about the game, which is that you finishing it isn't really a given. Like, you might just not, and your progress won't be linear in any meaningful way, you know? Like, you know, if we play a series of streams with this game, it's very possible one of the endings is me deciding I'm done with it. Me deciding that I have already, having failed to reach the summit, gotten over it with Bennett Foddy. I don't know if it will happen, but it could happen. I love this song. I love this game. Everybody go play Raccoon. That game's amazing. Fed into saying I'll be playing Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy until it finishes me, and he might well be right. I'm surprised that that fall is only so far, actually. Fair enough, I guess. Another thing that really surprised me about this game is considering it sold like millions of copies, and it was all over Twitch for, you know, a month. I signed up, I changed the game that I was playing to it today. Only about 30 people watching it, which surprised me a lot. I thought it would be a lot more than that. Alright, so before we goofed before and didn't actually get to take a second shot at this, a third shot even, my plan was to, rather than jump up, to slide myself across and then, so like, putt myself like this to go this way. And then probably like, I don't know, probably pull my hammer, then I have to pull my hammer into my body, which I don't like doing. How do I remember it correctly? Yes, I do. Oh, okay. So actually, if I just, instead of sliding the hammer off, moving it, say, clockwise, if I move the hammer anti-clockwise, I should end up arcing to maybe just land without even needing the hammer, and then I get the hammer as like a failsafe. I can maybe even, if I'm feeling particularly stylish, I could latch the hammer on the wood. Gunrun's critiquing my golf and like, damn. Oh. Okay, so if I just wait, we should be okay. to slide. Very slowly sliding. As long as it doesn't happen too fast, we should make it. I'm sure the various times we'll end up here again, we'll be able to research better methods. It's going to surprise me is the thing. But as long as I just... Oh, yeah. Oh well. So yeah, what else has Bennett done? Bennett's done GURP, a game that I played. I played it a lot in browser, and then... Ooh, shit. I played it a lot in browser, and then again at the National Video Game Arcade in Nottingham, where they had a special controller, where instead of laid out on a keyboard, the controls were laid out A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but in a big long line, and it made playing it really, really difficult in a way I'm sure Foddy would have loved. Maybe even intentionally designed, I don't know. Yeah, all the keys are just like in the worst possible place. It's really fun. I like it a lot. So yeah, I played GURP, which I liked, and whatever the pole vaulting game was called. And I also played, I watched him talk about and watched some people play his speed chess game. I don't know if there's a playable build of it on the internet. There probably is, probably one you can just go and find. But it's chess. But every player, like it's 6v6 chess, played in real time, and any player can take any legal move with any piece at any time. They played a set of it at the GDC that he talked about it at, and the average game lasted about, I want to say 12 seconds, maybe 6. It was really something. It was really, really something. Like 6 people operating a chessboard with, you know, almost no time for communication between them. It was a lot of fun to watch. Pole Riders, that was it. Pole Riders and Super Pole Riders. Super Pole Riders was only released in Sports Friends, I believe, along with various other fantastic sports games. Thanks for the 1-bit C8 Blitz and the slightly worrying proclamation that I must die. I mean, you know, I think we almost die. That's probably part of the point of getting over it with Bennett Foddy. There's probably a reasonable read of getting over... Oh, ass. There's probably a reasonable read of getting over it with Bennett Foddy that is about the inevitability of death. Yeah, I'm not really sure where I stand on the idea of bits as a sort of, you know, spamming tool, but I don't know, can you like, I wonder if you can disable bit notifications on Streamlabs for donations that are smaller than like 25 bits. The problem is I've gotten quite a lot of genuine donations that are small just because people get bits from watching ads and stuff, and they give them to me because they're very nice. And I don't want to spurn those people, because they're very nice. But yeah, honestly, like, if you really are trying to distract me with bits so that I die, you've picked a peculiar game to do it in, because you can't die in this game. Okay, so I'm going to try and execute this plan properly this time, rather than just sliding off again. What's this? Take 5? Let's leave it up here so that we've got sliding room. Yeah, that'll do. we nearly got there. I feel like this time I'm doing it in a vaguely correct fashion, though. Before, I definitely don't think I was doing it right. I think my chances of success were much lower then than they are now. Valence is in the chat asking if I get money for these bits. I do, but later. Ooh, shit. Okay, let's not. Never mind, let's. I like that this part encourages you to try and go fast, because, like, having fallen down here, you've got so little to lose. Just in case anyone had any illusion that giving me bits was like going to make me rich or anything, there are about like a cent per bit. In fact, exactly a cent per bit, and that doesn't translate to even 1 penny per bit. So you know, not breaking the bank anytime soon, but I'm thankful anyway. The idea of people giving me anything for doing this is novel, considering, you know. Ooh, lost that. Is it possible to get the hammer stuck, I wonder? Or are there countermeasures for that, do you think? I think you can get the hammer stuck on the last screen of the game or something. I feel like I read that. And that's the bad ending. Oof, that was an interesting momentum event. Still, momentum. That's how momentum works, right? Or rather, how it doesn't feel like momentum should work, but it does. This is something I was going to talk about earlier, but got sidetracked, was this idea that, like, the reason that games play with momentum, the reason that games playing with momentum makes them feel real is because momentum, this is going to be, like, this is a slightly sort of, I don't know, maybe a slightly wishy-washy description of these principles I'm working at here, but bear with me. So there's this idea that momentum is like a second order quantity, right? Like physical quantities have orders, right? The number of observable phenomena that are required to fully determine them is related to their order, right? So distance is a first order quantity. Speed is a first order quantity. These things are all really simple for the human mind to fiddle around with. Like, you can reckon with them in a simple and intuitive way. But if you've ever watched a car decelerate, like, it looks like it's going at close to top speed until it stops. And it's the same with volumes, right? So like, you can work out distances pretty well, and like, humans are okay with areas, but as soon as you get to volumes, like, it's very, very unintuitive for people to deal with. Like, if you pick them the right way, you can get, like, you know, people, you can get it so 9 times out of 10 people will pick the wrong container as the one that contains the higher volume, just because it's so difficult to wrap your brain around this kind of thing. Just that's how human intuition works. Like, there are only so many, it's so difficult for people to understand these quantities in an intuitive way. And momentum is one such quantity, right? Because it's it determines itself via the square of velocity, which is like a concept that's difficult for people to reckon with. And that's neat, because it means that, like, there is a sort of, I don't want to say inherent, because I don't like saying things are inherent, because it's like essentialism, and I don't like essentialism, but, like, I guess a sort of vaguely more fundamental explanation for why something as simple as Mario not responding instantly to your commands makes it a more emotionally compelling game to play. I like that. This is what happens when you spend all of your spare time playing video games and all of your work time doing a physics master's degree. You start to think about how math comes into things like this. Megaspeller's in the chat saying that 3D is literally exponentially more complicated than 2D, and that's true in a way. True in a way. I don't know if I'd use the word exponentially there, but like, you know. Anyway, this is the worst kind of inside baseball, the kind that's only inside my baseball. Nobody wants to see inside of my baseball. It's gross. I haven't watched it in ages. Yeah, so this game was bought for me by a friend because they reckoned that I was the kind of person this game was made to hurt, and I think the opposite. I think I was the kind of person this game was made for, you know. Well, not in the bad way, in the good way. I just like it. I really like, I play, so this is something that if you don't know about me already, you will learn about me. If you happen to watch my YouTube videos, you will learn about me in short order, is that I play a great deal of Titanfall 2. A lot of Titanfall 2. And that might lead you to believe that I'm good at Titanfall 2. I don't really think I am. I'm okay at Titanfall 2. I sort of semi-regularly make top 3 in the leaderboards. I don't play it to be good at it. I play it to move in the space, because I find the way that you move in the space of Titanfall 2 so engaging, so engrossing. Like, even if I get outshot by a player, being able to run circles around them using all of Titanfall 2's movement mechanics is immensely satisfying to me. And this is kind of that, just condensed, right? Like, this game is a movement mechanic. It's one movement mechanic, employed in a very, you know, nuanced and textured way. But that is it. It is a movement mechanic. And that's great. For me, that's one of the best things a game can be. It is starting to cramp my arm a bit. Flotaro is in the chat saying that they would love a Titanfall Battle Royale. And Flotaro, I cannot tell you how many times in the last, I guess it's 18 months now. I cannot tell you how many times in the last 18 months I have said the phrase, 100 Titans drop onto an island, because I too would like a Titanfall Battle Royale. Because the genre needs giant robots. I'm going to be honest with you. The genre really needs giant robots. So Gunrun is saying that they would like this game more if its rules were more consistent, and I can see that. I can see that being an issue, like a sort of a confidence issue, I guess. Like rule set consistency in video games is a super fine line to walk, because the thing about it is that like rigidly consistent rule sets are boring. People don't like them because yes, you can understand the way that everything works, and you can rigidly apply that rule set to everything, but it doesn't necessarily make it a satisfying way to navigate a space. Oh shit. Whoa. There we go. Doesn't necessarily make it a satisfying way to navigate a space. Like, it means that sometimes you end up, ooh, that's fun, I like that. Yeah, it means that like you can end up it means that sometimes it feels like the rules should give way to something that feels better than the rules. And if your rule set is too tight, you can't do that. Ah, shit. Oopsie. How high can we get? Okay, not that high. Oh, there goes my chat monitor. I can unplug it now, can't I? Okay. Let's have a fiddle around. So Vincio is saying in the chat that getting up here in a speedrun, you just jump it, and I'm interested in that idea because like there's clearly any movement system this textured allows for, it just has to allow for ridiculous ways to gain speed, because moving through it in good faith like feels realistic and like good, but as soon as someone decides to use these systems in bad faith, you have a recipe for ridiculous velocity. Titanfall 2 is, and the original Titanfall is like a big example of this. Like, you can sprint, you can wall run, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can grappling hook, you can do that kinds of stuff. But as soon as you break that down to the nitty gritty, like, you can do ridiculous things. You can, never ever walk. You can just always do some combination of sliding and hopping and wall running. You can abuse vectorization with the grappling hook to move too fast. It's great. I love it. Ugh. So Gunrunner's in the chat saying that breaking the rules is a good thing, except sometimes it just generates feel-bad moments, like with the cup, which you are led to believe is solid but isn't solid, and you lose it and you fall and you feel bad. They are saying that it is like horrible Kaizo Mario games, and like that's completely true. But in a way that I really like. I'm super into that myself, and I completely get that it's not for everyone. I don't think it should be. I think a world where everyone was really into Kaizo Mario games would be horrible, but I dig it. I'm not where I want to be to do the next bit of this, am I? Uh,
Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not dead. I did not die. Very frightening.
this is a remarkably Call of Duty-like for something Bennett Foddy made. Like the just sort of vague inspirational quotes when you die. Like it fits the theme, but having been playing for secret reasons a lot of modern Call of Duty Modern Warfare recently, it's reminding me of that a lot. I am serious, by the way. Everyone needs to go and play Raquin. That game is amazing. Ah, shit. There's another interesting thing about this game, and the way friction and momentum work in this game is it means that you're actually punished for taking your turns slowly in a very clear, neat way. Like when you pull something around slowly, it means that your hammer doesn't cling at the particular point that you want it to. So even though you sacrifice the clear control of where your hammer is actually going to be for it working how you want it to, which is nice. Because when you think things aren't going to go well, you slow down. And that's when things go wrong. Alright, there's a stock asset lady there having a read. Neat. Yeah, the Call of Duty death screen quotes is something that I don't know. I go back and forth on. I thought it was cool at the time in the original Modern Warfare. I don't think it's so cool now. With the sort of the perspective I have on the sort of conflicts it doesn't, it transparently references, like, I don't know. All the war is bad stuff doesn't really ring home so much to me anymore, because I'm just spoiling everything that I've written in this script for you. I'm gonna stop. We're gonna stop talking about Call of Duty while we're playing, getting over it. Who's played Minute? That game got announced for the Switch the other day, meaning that my laziness in not buying it is vindicated. I'm doing that wrong. There's no need to apologise for talking about Call of Duty 4. You should absolutely talk about what you want to talk about. That's good. What's bad is me spoiling my script. Although, can a script really be spoiled? A script is just a particularly organised version of me talking about myself, which I do all the time for free. Gunrun is saying they would love to see me stream some Zelda, and that might happen in the near future. Because I sure do have some Zelda footage I need to collect. The problem is my footage collection process is not remotely interesting. There will be basically a lot of walking around and a lot of climbing with no real payoff. Ooh. Ooh. What's really neat about streaming video games like this is you get to talk about the ways in which a game is trying to mess you up and then just get messed up by them repeatedly. I'm gonna have terrible back pain after playing this game from all of the writhing I'm doing in my seat. I'm really glad I don't have a camera for this, because you'd all be able to see me doing this extremely embarrassing thing where I turn my head to look at a different part of my monitor. Aw. Do you know, I thought I'd taken out all of the vocal tracks on this album, but actually, I really like this one. Claire says Minute is cool, but isn't necessarily compelling in how it uses its core concept. That's a shame. I'm probably still going to get it, but that's a shame. Megaspell is asking how I feel about the narration that pops up now and again. I've talked about it as and when it's come up. I don't really know it offhand. I'm only really familiar with Bennett Foddy's philosophy in game making and I guess his attitude to culture that he expresses in this monologue. And yeah, like I've just talked about the bits that I've been reading on the stream, so I didn't have any thoughts about it as a whole much yet. Whoop. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. No, don't do this. I still have no idea how I'm going to do the next bit. Ugh. Prepare for the least exciting part of this stream, where I just stand static and think about how I'm going to do a thing. I'll talk about it, because it's interesting. Did we try the jump before, or did we goof and fall? I think we might have goofed. So let's try and not do that this time. Okay. So that's as far as the hammer goes. Gunrun is asking if I have birds, if the squeaking in the background is birds. The squeaking in the background is not birds. The background noise is, so my office where I'm streaming from is at the very top of my house, or my family house, where the boiler is. So I can't, yeah, there's pipes and stuff, and that's it really. There's not much I can do about it. So my plan, my probably not very good plan, is to wedge the hammer on the corner of the box and vault myself in the direction of the stairs and try and get some purchase on them like that. Really want to... Okay, deposit Johnny Blow there. Yeah, see, the angle for that jump is really bad, and if we slide at all, we lose everything. But it also feels like... except it's not the only way that we can get up there, is it? I can hang off the bottom of this and turn my hammer anti-clockwise to sort of vault me up this way, rather than pushing myself. Because I should be swinging myself as much as possible, really, shouldn't I? So the concern there is that I have to pull my hammer probably up past this notch here, which is, you know, but even then I'm just sort of rattling between these 2 points, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm going to give that a go. Let's get it. Get myself Ooh, okay, I guess we're going this way? No, okay, cool. Lift the hammer off the ground, get fur in here. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, it's gone wrong. This is going to be interesting. Ooh, okay, so further, push the hammer further to the left this time. We'll do it faster on the startup, I guess. Okay, that's not working. Oof. Chat's talking about the Beginner's Guide, another great game I should definitely have played but haven't.
Life is a mosaic
Okay.
of pleasure and pain. Grief is an interval between
So that's interesting.
Peace is the interlude between two wars. You have no rose without a thorn. The diligent picker will avoid the pricks and gather the flowers. Satya Sai Baba.
Yeah, I kind of wish he had slightly more original narration for failures, but that's probably quite hard to write. Whereas obviously there are quotes for days. Okay, having failed that quite spectacularly, I think I might try my jump plan next time. Although that seemed like it was better than any jump could have been, really. Bother. Ah, shit. Come on. Okay, this isn't working. Oh, no. Bother.
Sorrow is my own yard, where the new grass flames as it has flamed often before, but not with the cold fire that closes round me this year. William Carlos Williams.
I guess I'm hearing a lot of nice, sad poetry, which is something. Yeah, I heard the beginner's guide had a lot of stuff where people thought it was real. That was definitely a week in the discourse that I've heard about, but was not there for myself. Oh, did I just turn up my mouse sensitivity? Is that what just happened? No? Okay. Feels like I might have. I guess we'll find out. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to just slow jump up this bit like I did before, rather than rushing from here, but then rush from... Ooh. How tedious. Ooh. Yeah, I watched a bit of Robert Yang's stream about level design analysis of the beginner's guide, and then stopped because I haven't played it, and they got to some, Yang got to some bits that I thought, actually, I'd probably rather play this game. I don't know when I will, but I'd like to. Ooh, too fast there. I wonder if it's possible to significantly alter your trajectory in midair by waving your hammer around. Feels like it could be. Move where your mass is dragged downwards from. Maybe when I'm done this game, I'll watch some speedruns to just look at the movement tech, because I'm impressed. The idea is cool. I'm into it. Okay, back here again. Just that plan from before seemed to work pretty well. Cool. Okay. So what do we think, chat? A swing, like before, or shall I try a vault? Is either of those a good idea? Is there something I'm missing? Because the swing seemed like it could have worked. Maybe if I try a vault, I can just swing around more easily. And then swing my hammer around clockwise and push off a stair. Before worked perfectly. See, it was so long ago now, I don't really remember. Because I feel like my trajectory off the swing is too up. I end up bouncing off this, which, again, not the worst thing in the world, but... Okay, so I want to, like, swing around like that, and then push my hanger back up over and kick off a stair like this. Yeah, hooking up with the stairs without bouncing off. Yeah, that's difficult. Alright, let's give the swing another go. Okay, so now we're gonna slide down the stairs, I see. Cool. Neat. Okay, this looks like one of those hard jumps, huh?
When games were new, they wanted a lot from you. Daunting, taunting, resetting, delaying you. Players played stoically. Now everyone's turned off by that. They want to burn through it quickly. A quick fix for the fickle. Some tricks for the clicks of the feckless. But that's not you. You're an acrobat. You could swallow a baseball bat.
So yeah, I guess the main thing that I think about Foddy's narration in this game is that, like, to me it feels like he's putting it on as a persona, which makes sense for Foddy's work, but like, he's over concerned about his persona in this narration is he's over concerned with what the mass market cares about, when by his own admission he was not making a game that he wanted to be for the mass market, and you know, he knows that from even within the narration, he knows that. But like, I don't know how you would survive in 2000 we can get up there easy. I don't know how you would survive in 2018 making entertainment media and having your artistic vision be something for the mass market, because like these days that's that's a lot to ask yourself to do, I guess. Alright, so my plan is to vault up and then try and swing around and hop off the camera. Yeah, I think that's my plan. Whoop. Okay, without over-hitting and ending up on that wall. But that's neat. That's like one of the first over-hit catches that pushes you to a safe place. And it's a big safe place. I dig that. That's like, this is the lull after the level design-wise, the high of the swings. I like his little rhymes, they're fun. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this is clear from things that I've been saying about him and his work. I like Bennett Foddy a lot. I like his, at least his public persona. I like his work, and I like the way he talks about it. I find it very interesting, even if it's not always 100% for me. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, you get a big long time to catch yourself after missing that, which is nice. It's a nice payoff for having done what we've done so far. Like, the threat of defeat, the threat of losing a lot of progress is still down there, but it's not huge. Hey. Nice. So this is something I'm gradually learning for myself, is that if we don't have a flat surface, we can kind of just make one by sitting on the hammer.
Now I know, most likely you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, while some dude with 10 million views does it for you.
Yeah, 10 million views.
Fed, chewed up food. That's culture too.
Alright. This is another neat thing, is that it's not it's not by accident. Like the particular trash, as he calls it, that Foddy has chosen to use to make this mountain out of. You know, like it's neat the way he's chosen it. It's like, you know, household stuff, literally household objects, just the stuff that culturally and, you know, anthropologically is just lying around. But designs of those things, like as he says before, loads of work and artistry went into the designs of not just these assets, but the Platonic ideals of the things that they're based on, like that bed. If you just think about the history of the fucking centuries and centuries of history of design of beds, and that represented here as like, you know, 5 or 6 flat surfaces is like neat. And then of course the, you know, meta element of it being a shitty reproduction of of that in a video game about shitty objects. I wonder if there's like a floodgate point for this game. I wonder if there's a point past which, if you get, you're fairly favoured to finish it. Because like, I know a lot of games that, I feel like I know a lot of games that have those, and they're different, they tend to be different from person to person. But like, I'm interested in that idea. Okay, so we're gonna again vault up and swing round to try and hitch onto that basket. Yeah, we got there.
On the off chance that you're playing this, what I'm saying is, trash is disposable, but maybe it doesn't have to be approachable. What's the feeling like? Are you stressed? I guess you don't hate it if you got this far. Feeling frustrated? It's underrated.
Okay, so I have a funny feeling that past that set of drawers is a hole, and these slanted surfaces are here to make me slide into it, which I am going to do my best to avoid. Okay, so I'm not balanced on that chair corner. Let's try slightly harder for that. Okay, cool. So we put the hammer here. And what do we do? Okay, so we are sliding very, very slowly. Ah, shit. Oh no, there's a little hole there. That's neat. Whoa. That's fun. I like that. Because you see the slide like I just did, and you assume that it's a big, you know, a big, hang on, let me just get over there so we can talk about it a bit more, because I like it. So you see this slant, and you can't see the hole. You can't see that sort of table there. So you're like, oh damn, got to stay away from that. Don't want to lose all this progress I've got. So you, like I just did, you approach it very, very slowly. And if you fall, like to say, well, if you just fall through that hole and you get closer and closer to the hole, the game reveals more and more and more, basically like pointing to the hole, saying, look at this thing you're about to fall into, you fool. It's like, I've talked about it on the Bloodborne streams before, the heavy wind-up animations on very, very damaging attacks. Get that out of here. Oh. So Vincent is in the chat talking about a particular point in the game 3/4 of the way through where it's almost impossible to fail. So I don't mean in terms of like actual genuine difficulty of the game, I mean in terms of like just by that point you are, I guess, adept at the game's challenges enough to, generally speaking, make it through. But maybe the way that the difficulty in this game works doesn't lend itself to that kind of thing? I don't know. Alright, let's just... Ooh, not like that. So what I want to do is just jump here a little bit and then swing the hammer around and hook on. Oh, this is going to hurt. Ah well. Sorry to disappoint anyone who is here for the screaming. There isn't going to be any of that. Well, not if I can help it. Maybe Bennett will scream at me at some point. We can just, shit. Chekhov's playground slide. Yeah, that's really neat. A lot of things in this game are really neat, to be honest. One thing I've just realised is that maybe playing this game only once a week is going to be a problem. Maybe that is bad for me. Fuck! Okay. That's annoying. Oh well. Yeah, maybe me forgetting how to play this game every week and then coming back and just relearning by the time we finish will be bad, but who knows, we'll find out. Together. Interesting way the physics works there. You kind of bounce in a strange way. Ooh.
try to please audiences, uncritically accepting their tastes, it can only mean that you have no respect for them. Andrei Tarkovsky.
So, I agree with Andrei Tarkovsky about a lot of things. I like Andrei Tarkovsky. I like his films a great deal. You looking for a good watch? Watch Stalker. It's you might not have heard of it. It's little Criterion movie that you might not have heard of. It's good. I like it. That's a joke. You've almost if you like films a lot, you've probably heard of Tarkovsky's Stalker, which is great. What a good movie. Oh. Well, that'll do, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something that you've noticed about my work. But I try to make the things I want to make. Eventually, inevitably, there is some capitulation to what people want, right? But hopefully not that much. No. That's an interesting question, right? How do you delineate what you want, what your vision for something is, and what your vision of how to package it is? Especially in a world that is increasingly obsessed with packaging, commodifying their own. People are increasingly obsessed with packaging and commodifying their own visions on, social media. How do you interrogate what you want versus what you think is #shareable, because even without the idea of Twitter, I guess you still have, you still package your thoughts and feelings in ways that will be digestible to other people. See, look at that. That was basically impossible for us about an hour ago. Now it's attemptable. Vance is saying you might have noticed that I'm Andrei Tarkovsky, and I wish I were. I don't wish I were, but I'm glad Tarkovsky is Tarkovsky, and I'm some rube who can just watch his movies. Okay, we're back. I say we're back. This is not where we fell from. We fell from much further up. This is a neat feature of the Yosemite hammer, actually. The bit where the wood comes through the other end tells you where the middle is in a really helpful way. That's a nice design feature. It means that the game is readable in a cool way. Whoa, shit. Whoa. Oh. Lost the hang of that one. Put my mouse in the wrong place. Oh well. Look at that. Forces. They're fun. Okay, I'm just going to slow hop up the rest of this bit. That's peculiar. The interaction of... Ooh. The interaction of the clouds and the white cursor is fun. in a sort of, you know, cruel way. It means you can't really see where your mouse is. You're kind of navigating this bit by feel alone. It's fun. Okay, we need to get as much of our arm into that pull as we can, really. I'm getting a little sleepy. Maybe we should finish the stream fairly soon. If I make or lose a great deal of progress again in the next like 20 minutes, I'll probably call it. Whoop. Whoop. I like this game. I mean, I knew I would, but I do. Whoop. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, I really wonder what this game is like on a trackball grafting. I really wonder that myself. Ugh. But I do not own one, so I can't see for myself. We're over swinging again. Oh no. Don't want to fall down these stairs, really. There we go. That's a bit better. So yeah, you get a lot of place to catch yourself here, which is nice. I'm into that. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, I should take that slower, I think. No, no. No! Oh shit. I'm trying to take the wrong bits slow and the wrong bits fast. Good old Bennett, getting the iced tea credit in there. Important. It's important to credit important people, and Ice-T is one of those people. Ice-T is apparently a video gamer, according to his Twitter. He loved them video games. Maybe. Chat, what do you think Ice-T's favourite video game is? That's fun. That little notch is there specifically for that event, and you can't really reach it anywhere else. That's nice. shit.
Into the sessions of sweet silent thought, I summon up remembrance of
Punted
things
there.
past. I sigh the lack of many a thing I saw, and with old woes new, wail my dear time's waste. William Shakespeare, Sonnet 30.
Oh, come on. Wait, you serious? Ice-T's favorite video game is the original Resident Evil? That's such a good pick. Wow. Massive respect for Ice-T. I hope Ice-T hasn't done anything really bad. Because, I like his video game taste. This is a terrible idea. Yeah, it's a bad idea. Luckily, I think we might just make it. There we go. I still don't really have any faith in how I'm actually getting up these stairs, but it does appear to be semi-working. No! Rats.
Make anger your enemy. Harm comes to those who know only victory and do not know defeat. Find fault with yourself and not with others. It's in falling short of your own goals that you'll surpass those who exceed theirs. Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Tokugawa Ieyasu was a powerful man. He killed a lot of people. If you're ever hurting for a period of history to read about, Sengoku Jidai, pretty cool. A lot of things that are contemporary pop culture are super from Sengoku Jidai. Ooh. Another thing I like about this game, as you repeat sections continuously, you learn what's loose and what's tight, or at least you learn what you feel is loose and what you feel is tight, which is nice. It means that different players will have different interpretations of what constitutes loose and what constitutes tight. I think that white box might be curved in a way that allows you to slide along it more easily than other surfaces in this game. To make that part slightly more forgiving. Maybe all the surfaces are like that. Maybe that's how it be. No. Because Foddy's right, you know. If at first you don't succeed, redefine success. It's watertight strategy. It's also very hard. It's very hard to keep doing that. But you can, if you try. You know, you might not necessarily get there, but it's possible. Oh no. Oof, nearly goofed that right up. Oh yeah. Whoop. Oh no.
Your failure here is a metaphor. To learn before what? Please resume climbing.
That's funny. I like that. Come on. There we go. But yeah, I guess the reason why I find this chill and teleglitch not is that, like here, me losing my chill would be because I lost my patience, whereas teleglitch permits no patience. You will play at the speed the game dictates and no slower, or you will die. And sometimes you will die anyway. I can't believe I learned today that Ice-T's favourite video game is Resident Evil. That's so cool. I love Twitter. I hate Twitter and I love Twitter. Ooh, that was stylish. I liked that a lot. Alright, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this time? Let's have a look. I wonder if watching me do the same thing again and again and again is a remotely compelling stream. Guess I'll find out.
Laugh and the world laughs with you.
Not doing that fast enough.
The sad old earth
I've made that mistake twice now.
has trouble enough of its own. Ella Weaver Wilcox.
I'm gonna hear every single one of those lines falling off this particular bit, aren't I? Whoop. This chap, John Blower here, must have redonkulous pectorals. I wonder if he has pectorals this stacked in real life. Trackball works really well, but you have to use the trackpad tuning setting. Interesting. Cool. I'm into that. That is, I guess, an accessibility option, which is something that Bennett Foddy's games are not known for. Ugh. Okay. I think overthinking this is a good way to goof it, so I'm just going to go again. Whoop. Oh, okay. I know I'm doing a lot of like recommending the soundtrack games this week, but go play Celeste. That game's good as hell. And unlike the repertoire of Mr. Foddy, it has like just a ton of cool accessibility options, like, you know. And it's not even that many, but it's a lot for a video game. Ooh, that's not gone well. Nope. I'd quite like to get to that table again before I end the stream, but that may well be slightly too big an ask. And maybe dishonest, considering I'll probably just fall there and we'll do the same thing again for the whole of the next stream. Come on. Sit on the goddamn chair. Alright, that'll do. Okay, and then we're slow jumping up here. This is where I've fallen off the last few times, isn't it? I didn't even get up to the next bit. So we're just gonna slow jump. Too early. Okay, cool. I'm definitely going to end up keeping the stream going for way longer than it should be, just because I want to get back to this table and making very incremental but ultimately not substantial progress to get there. But we'll see. We'll see. If it continues much long after past, I am just going to have to go to bed out of fatigue, but we'll keep at it for now. Okay, so don't panic. Slow hammer after the slow jump. Because there's not actually that much space between that sofa and the wall. Oh no. This is hard. Maybe I should go first. Or is that a trap? I guess that's the whole game, huh? Yep, progress is not linear. I agree. That is true, Valence. Thank you for keeping it fresh in my mind. If you've enjoyed Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy and haven't played a fighting game, you should. Because it has the exact same approach to difficulty and reward. A lot of times in a fighting game, you will draw intense satisfaction from knowing that you have gotten better without any... I did it again. Without any way to demonstrate how. Whoop! No. Without any way to demonstrate how. You won't be able to point at a game and say, I won that game because of this. You will be able to say, this time, my wake-up pressure worked better. I still lost, but my pressure worked better. That thing that I'd spent ages practicing worked. It's interesting to me that it's taking me so long to get up this bit again, considering I did it pretty much sight unseen the first time. Also, my voice is starting to go because I've not had enough water. Oh dear. Okay, that's a neat thing. You have to pull it up very slowly. This is music that plays in Rakwen when you serve tea to a load of people who are flower buds. There we go. That's what we were looking for. So again, just a series of slow jumps. Because we can't hook up there, can we? Nope. Thought I was going to slide there, that would have been bad. Yeah, I like this game a lot. I like that a lot of thought has gone into the various ways in which you will, like, both the intentional and unintentional consequences of a lot of the player actions that you can take have been designed around in ways that are very satisfying. I like it. I really do want to be sitting on the edge of that toilet seat, don't I? Can we? In any helpful way? Or do we just vault like this? Let's give this a go while we're here. Yeah, easy. Easy. Good job, us. So we just want to make sure we don't slide down the gulf there. Has the sky change with height, or was it like this last time? I feel like it was bluer last time. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, well, Bennett said he saved my progress, and I believe him, so I'm going to get up on this table, and I'm going to have to remember what mouse setting I played this on, otherwise I'm going to be completely screwed next week. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming to the Green Chill Zone and watching me attempt and fail to get over it with Bennett Foddy. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too sedate for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it too, because I did, and I'm excited to do it next week. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you everyone for using for chatting in the chat. It was really nice to talk to you all. You're all so friendly and insightful. Thank you for the bits, even if some of them were donated so that I might die in a game where you can't die. And thank you for, I believe there was a subscription in the opening, the pre-stream. So thank you for that too. Thank you everyone. I'm going to quit. And I can load my game. Okay. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode of Green Chill Zone. So hang on a minute. Can I... there we go. So yeah. Thank you all for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you've enjoyed it too, then you can do all of the usual things. You can, if you haven't followed me, you can follow me. If you have got some bits, you can donate them to me. If you've got Twitch Prime, you can Twitch Prime subscription to me. Or if you want to pay money for that, you can do that too. Like, there are all of these options. But really, I just like having you here. So thanks for coming, and I will see everyone who is so inclined on Wednesday for another episode of Jane Bloodborne's House of Eyeballs, which should be pretty good, because it's like the second to last episode, maybe the third. I don't know. We're very near the end. It's happening, folks. But yeah, as always, it was a pleasure, and I will see you next time.